Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew. Well, I done told y'all what Jamaine Ortiz had to do in order to win this fight against Teofimo Lopez. I done told y'all what Teofimo Lopez had to do to win this fight against Jamaine Ortiz. And you see, only one of them did exactly what Manager Marty told them to do. And I want you all to hear the breakdown I gave just the other day, live and living color. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. Now let's get to Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez. He's fighting Jamaine Ortiz. Now, Jamaine Ortiz, he looked good in his fights. But I got to keep it all the way 100. Jamaine Ortiz, he don't have enough power, in my opinion, to keep Teofimo off of him. Or at least keep Teofimo honest enough to second guess throwing certain punches. So what Jamaine is going to have to do, Mr. Ortiz, he's going to have to go in there and continue to switch it. A lot of people don't give Ortiz credit for being a switch hitter. He can switch from orthodox, to southpaw. We've seen this when he fought another veteran, and Herring. Jamel Herring. I think that is Herring, right? Yeah. What I'm saying is switch hit on Loma. Keep switch hitting on him, especially staying in that southpaw position. Because you've seen what Sandora did. Sandora did a good job against Teo. That was a good fight. But use your experience. Because he's an amateur standout too now. So listen, switch hit on him. Stay more in the southpaw stance than the orthodox stance. Fire that left hand. Don't hesitate. Fire it. Because the thing about it is, you're going to have to try your best to outbox Teofimo Lopez. Jamaine Ortiz is not the naturally bigger guy in this fight. I mean, I know he weighed in his last fight at 137. But before that, he's been fighting all 135-pound fights. So we know who have the weight advantage in this fight. So all Ortiz got to do, switch hit, be more in the southpaw stance, get back to your basic boxing fundamentals. Don't get in there trying to exchange blow for blow with Teo. That game plan is not going to work, young fella. Get in there and try to outbox Teo. Okay? Now, when it comes to Teofimo Lopez, I recommend that Teo test that young man's chin. Test his body too. Because when you test his body and throw some shots to the body, Teo, you're gonna slow all that movement down that I'm telling Ortiz to have to outbox you. Slow him down. Make him stand in front of you. Apply that pressure on him like you do everybody else, Teo. And if you got the young man hurt, you know what to do. You got to close the show out in dramatic fashion if you can. But if you can't, and that's okay if you can't, Teo, you got to go in there and show him and the world that you're ready to take it to another level. because you might be able to get a shot at Devin Haney after this. Who knows? You might get another rematch with Sandor Martin. I know that Sandor is the mandatory for Devin, but we don't know what's going to happen. Okay? So you got to go in there and show Ortiz that win over Josh Kelly, that was no fluke. And neither was the win against Sandor, even though that was controversial. All right? What I'm saying is, you do this, you selling it now. You talking it, now you got to go in there, you got to walk it. And I believe T.O. can do it. That's my breakdown of this fight. It's very simple. But T.O. got to stay on his game as far as the basic fundamentals of boxing too. Because T.O. will get frustrated, then he starts swinging, trying to knock you out. No. Then he chase you instead of cutting the ring off. Get back to your basic fundamentals, Teofimo. But you got to have an effective body attack against this kid, this young man. Not kid, but y'all know this young man. Got to have an effective, slow him down. You know he don't have enough power to keep you off him. So he's going to go in there and try to outbox you, which he possibly can. Close that door when you close that distance. That's for T.O. Close that door when you close that distance. That's my breakdown of the fight. Now, Jamaine Ortiz did exactly what manager Marty told him to do. The only thing I would say that he did not do is go into that orthodox style as frequently as I thought. But I told him, stay in that southpaw stance as much as possible. Don't go bang for bang and get into any exchanges with Teofimo Lopez. Box him on the outside. And he did exactly what I told him to do, and unfortunately, he did not get the win. Now, I know some people might say that the judge that scored this fight, 117-111, should be investigated. And I'm talking about the judge, Steve Weisfeld, whom I've met on numerous occasions. And I want to say I disagree. Yeah, I said it. I disagree. Steve Weisfeld should not be investigated. Steve Weisfeld should be interviewed. So I'm letting you all know, I'm going to call Steve Weisfeld. I'm calling him. And I'm going to see if Steve Weisfeld is willing to come on the podcast to provide us with his perspective of why his scorecard was 117-111 in favor for Teofimo Lopez. Because I want to tell y'all something right now. Teofimo Lopez lost that fight. Yeah, he lost. He did not do enough. Even when he was pressing Ortiz, yes, he was aggressive. But see, one of the judging criterias, and I spoke on this months ago. Remember? Nearly a year ago, matter of fact, when Devin Haney fought Lomachenko, and people kept saying the reason why Devin Haney lost this fight is because of A, B, and C. But I gave everyone the 4 judging criterias that professional boxing judges use to score rounds. Some of y'all might not remember, and some of you that's new to the channel were not here. But the point of me bringing this up now is that I'm emphasizing that the judging criteria never changed. So if Teofimo Lopez was aggressive, he doesn't get credit for just being aggressive. The judging criteria is effective aggression. and he was ineffective with his aggression. He did not land a lot of punches to Ortiz's body. He didn't slow Ortiz down like I gave in my breakdown of this fight on how Teofimo can win. You know, he did not show that he was dominating, the entire rounds consistently. He was getting outboxed and beat to the punch the entire night. Now, I know he might be frustrated saying, oh, man, you got to stand and fight me and don't run. No, 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 no. Every fighter should have a game plan and a strategy, and Teofimo knows that. I'm sure his game plan and strategy was to do what he did, and 2 out of the last 3 fights that Teofimo had, he fought the same way and ended up in a controversial win. We need answers. So we're going to get the answers, hopefully, because I'm going to get on the phone immediately and see what the judge have to say about it. You know what? I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape.